I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast for my head to your ears. And I'm apologizing up front. I have a head cold, so if I sound a little different, that is why. But today I'm going to talk about fall, autumn, September, October, November, part of December, fall, autumn. And of course, hay fever is just part of autumn. I live in a rural area, and usually when they start harvesting the fields, I usually get this kind of allergy reaction. But honestly, nobody's harvesting just yet. It's just the crazy weather we've been having. Heat, hot, cold, hot, cold. Not cold, but cool. But I prefer the cool to the hot. And I prefer the fall to the summer. So I'm going to take a break and we'll talk more about fall, autumn. I'll be right back. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast for my head to your ears. And I kind of like what this cold is doing for me with my voice. There is a bright side to everything. And I'm talking about fall today. Fall is my absolutely favorite time of year. I'm always thankful to get through the summertime. I used to say spring and fall were my favorites, but actually spring is lead up to summer. And I'm not an outdoorsy person anymore. I enjoy chilling in the house. And to me, fall and winter actually are the ultimate chill in the house times. I love like the first really chilly day, like a 50-degree day. I like to make a big pot of chili and have cornbread and some cheddar cheese and just chow down on the chili. That's kind of a thing with me, actually. So, seriously, I always have if it's going to be the first day in the 50s, I will make a pot of chili. I'm not big on pumpkin spice. That's kind of been a thing for young women and women. They like their pumpkin spice, but I like pumpkin cheesecake and I like pumpkin bread. I'm not a big fan of pumpkin pie. I know that's un-American, but I don't care for pumpkin pie. Never did. My family does, but I just don't like the texture of pumpkin pie. But I do like the flavor of pumpkin and other stuff. As I was saying, fall is kind of the chill out time of the year. You don't have to mow your lawn anymore. Of course, you do have to rake leaves. Believe it or not, I don't have a single tree in my yard anymore, so I don't have the issue of raking leaves. So that's kind of down too. I used to like to jump in a pile of leaves like Charlie Brown when I was a kid. That was always fun. I remember having to do leaf collections in school too. I'm well past school age. Yeah, even when I was a kid, though, I liked fall. Fall was the time when the cartoons came out and all the new TV shows had new episodes, and you got a lot of new TV shows out. And it was just great, and I have great memories of that. And like I said, it was a lead up to all the holidays. I love Halloween and Thanksgiving and Christmas. In the month of October, I have a Halloween movie film festival that I heavily talk about on Facebook. And I do little videos on TikTok and not Instagram, on Snapchat of what I'm watching. And I kind of give people recommendations for Halloween films, and it's become a kind of a popular thing that I do every year. And I also like on Facebook, I have a picture of Kolchak the Night Stalker that I have superimposed my face on, and it looks absolutely real, and that becomes my profile for the month. And some people say, "Hey, we know it's fall when you do that," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a traditionalist." Excuse me. But fall, I just come alive this time of year. I do. It kind of fuels my creativeness. I'm in a better mood. I do better in the cooler months, even though I had to catch this dang cold. I do suffer from hay fever. Usually when they start harvesting in the fall, I get this kind of stuff. Right now, nobody's harvesting, but the weather's been kind of odd around here. And we had a heat wave a couple weeks ago that was just miserable, and then it broke and it went down in the 50s at night, and I caught this cold. I'm not a big fan of rapid temperature changes. It kind of messes with my system. But I am a snow fan, and we've actually had snow we had snow on Halloween one year back in the early 90s. Very strange weather. I'm based out of Southern Illinois, and if you don't like the weather around here, wait 10 minutes, it'll change. That's what everybody says, and it's absolutely true around here. Very strange weather we have. I swear we're going to sprout palm trees in the spring and summer. The humidity around here is just ridiculous. And actually, year-round, even in the cold, it's humid here. I hate damp. Not a big fan of dampness. Moistness, sorry. There's a favorite word everybody hates, moist. But I start gathering my horror films for my film festival. I love doing that, and I have a big box full of scary movies, and I don't really plan what I'm going to watch, but I do put what I want to watch or the ideas to watch in that box, and I'm kind of random with that every night. I do have, up until the end, I always watch the same movies towards the last week of Halloween. You have to watch The Great Pumpkin. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. You have to. It's just required viewing. I believe It's Great Pumpkin came out the year I was born, in 1966. So it aired just a couple months before I aired. But yeah, I just love this time of year and always look forward to it. And I'm going to take a break and rest my voice for just a minute because I'm just about to start coughing. So I'll be right back with some more about the autumn and the fall. I'll be right back. I'm Leonard Riggs. This is my podcast from my head to your ears. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast from my head to your ears, and I'm talking about fall in this episode. And I was thinking about my favorite fall memories, and I have lots, actually, because I said this is my favorite time of year, so there's just lots of things. But my absolute favorite fall memory came in 2006. Just before my 40th birthday, I got to go see Olivia Newton-John for the last time. She did a stop in Columbia, Missouri, which is the closest stop she did. Actually, there was one in Aurora, Illinois, which probably would have been closer, but I enjoyed the trip to Missouri more. I did not realize Columbia, Missouri was as far away from me as it was. So I went with my sister and my sister Kim, and we drove and we stayed in a hotel in Columbia. And it was full on autumn. The leaves were beautiful. It was a great trip. It was a long road trip, like I said, a lot longer than I thought. And the funny part about that trip was the hotel we stayed in, Olivia was staying in the hotel next to us. And her tour bus was right outside my hotel window. So I saw her Irish setters being walked, but I never saw Olivia, alas. I had to get ready for the concert because we arrived there, in the early afternoon, and the concert was that evening, and we still had to go figure out where the venue exactly was. And Columbia University actually that town is kind of laid out strange, so we could not find where the auditorium was, and as it turned out, it was right in front of us the whole time. I liked Columbia. It was a fun trip. I'd seen her before in St. Louis with my sister Connie a few years earlier, This trip, I had better seats, and I still was way up there, but I'll never forget this trip because we stopped by the Columbia Mall and was kind of chilling out, and my poor sister had hit her tooth and broke her front teeth out, and she wasn't able to get it fixed in time for the trip. So she was a little bit embarrassed. She was not smiling, but she said, we're going. You know, she was determined. So we did go with her, my sister, my toothless sister. Hey, this is Franklin County, Illinois, you know. But I told her she could stick a couple of chiclets up in there like Walter Matthau did in Dennis the Menace, the movie. And she waits till we're at the venue to do that and make me laugh really loud. But that's just... yeah, it runs in the family. We're all nuts. But she also got the worst haircut of her life at a beauty salon there. So here she was with no front teeth and this frizzy haircut. But when it came time for the concert, she looked beautiful. As always. My sister Kim's adorable. But yeah, there I was in that hotel room, though, with binoculars trying to see Olivia Newton-John. I was in my boxers. It's kind of a sordid story, but it was true. But that was a great concert and a great road trip. And little did I know that would be the last time I would get to see Olivia Newton-John ever. Such a sad thing. I'm so sad that she passed away. But I'm glad I've got that memory of going to see her. And she was a great live act, too. She really nailed it. She was promoting her Grace and Gratitude album at that time. And, yeah, it was a great memory and my favorite. And I wanted to meet her, but I didn't get to. I just had a thing about not wanting to meet her in an alley, in a, dark alley at night. I actually would like to have sat down and had a conversation with her. She was really a fascinating lady and beautiful and everything else. And I'm still a fan. She still remains in my happy place forever. And that trip will forever be in my happy place. I never really liked to dress up for Halloween. Trick-or-treating was kind of a social thing that I didn't enjoy so much. I liked the candy. But I stopped doing it as soon as it was illegal for me to go. So you can only trick-or-treat in our area until you're 13. And I think I quit when I was 12. I just didn't care for it. I didn't like to have to go begging for candy. But I do remember pretty much what I was going to be every year. I think. Let's see if I can remember. The first time I went trick-or-treating, my mom just put a sheet over my head and I was a ghost. And the first time I really wanted to be something, I wanted to be a witch, which much to the chagrin of my mom, but I did. When I was in kindergarten, I dressed like a witch. Witches are girls, but I thought witches were cool, so I was a witch my first year kindergarten. Second year, I believe I was a Tin Man for The Wizard of Oz. Third year, I think I was G.I. Joe, a blonde-headed G.I. Joe. Fourth year, I was... that's where it gets... Oh, I was a tiger. She put... dress. My mom got real creative, and she made me she took pantyhose somehow and made claws, and yeah, it looked pretty cool. And I think 5th grade, I didn't go trick-or-treating anymore. I think that was the last time I went. But I never really enjoyed that aspect of Halloween. I just like the thrills and scares, and I do like the candy still. I'm not going to lie. But fall was always the time when you got to see your friends again and at school. And I can remember a lot of fall music. Especially when I was a teenager, I have certain songs that just take me immediately back to the autumn season. Eye in the Sky by the Alan Parsons Project, Kids in America by Kim Wilde, a Heart Attack by Olivia Newton-John, all sorts of songs. And just when I hear them, I think, yeah, I did homework by those songs on CIL FM in Carbondale, Illinois. I remember, speaking of O&J, her Twist of Fate from her last movie with John Travolta, Two of a Kind, debuted on October of 83 on Friday Night Videos. There's actually, someone has the commercial for that on TikTok, and I saw it the other day, and I was like, wow, I remember that, being so excited that a new Olivia Newton-John song was out. I can remember being at Walmart waiting on that single to come out with 4 or 5 other guys, anxiously watching the lady put the 45s on the rack, and there was Twist of Fate with Olivia Newton-John and the sunglasses, and all of us snapping a copy. And that was her last top 10 hit, actually. So that's also associated with this time of year, as is the Heart Attack single from 82. And she did a fall. I have a lot of Olivia Newton-John memories of the fall of 82. Maybe that's why I love fall so much too. She did her fall physical tour that started in 82, fall of 82, and she was on the cover of People magazine. I remember that so well. I used to like those Saturday morning previews for the new cartoons on the networks. They made a big deal out of their Saturday morning lineup, and it was like kids' time, and I love watching new cartoons. And just things like that make fall special. We have a parade, a fall festival parade, and that was fun when I was a kid. I used to like going. I don't go so much now. I'm not a fan of social gatherings as like I used to be. I've gotten a little weirder as I've grown older, I think. But it's still a big deal in Christopher, Illinois, our fall festival. And this is just always fun to go up there and grab the candy they throw at you and see people you know. And our town was alive when I was a kid, and the stores were aligned with Halloween deck. We had a store called B&S Sells. It's actually, the building has recently been demolished, but they had a huge window, and they had a Frankenstein in a coffin that would pop out. And I loved that decoration. That was so cool. And that was a lot of fun. And the homecoming parade, we still have that, but it's sad to see my little town kind of dry up. The kids have a parade in a dead town, basically, although they're trying to renovate a lot of buildings and make them useful. They made a wonderful, I can't think what you call it, communion hall uptown where you can rent out and have wedding receptions and stuff. So, and they were decorating their building for Halloween, and I appreciate that because it reminds me of when I was a kid, and that's all wonderful. Of course, I encourage the kids to go find up old yearbooks and look at our town over the years. I wish someone would do a video montage of all the homecomings from the yearbooks from way back when to now, to show the kids what it used to look like uptown. Because Christopher, when I was very little, I think I've said this, I thought Christopher was a huge city. It was all open and bustling, and now it's like many small towns in America has dried up, and a lot of empty buildings. A lot of buildings have been demolished. We had a sad occurrence in the B&S Sells building where a firefighter was killed years ago. So I'm glad they demolished it, because that memory kind of is bad. But autumn is just a favorite time of year. And I know there's so many people that look forward to hunting season around here. That's big around here. I know there's a lot of people that don't like hunting, but around here I have a lot of friends that hunt and enjoy the sport of hunting. And that's a big, where I work, that's a big event, and brings a lot of business. But I actually enjoy the hunters that come in and talking about them. And I'm always fascinated by what people's hobbies. I may not agree with them, or maybe not want to do it myself, but I always like to know what makes people like what they do, or like what they like. I'm never gonna dismiss what they like to do and say, oh, I don't like that. I just enjoy talking about and finding out about why they like something that they like. I think that's interesting. So, there's that. Just the curiosity in me. I'm going to take a break because, as you can hear, I'm kind of stopped up. And I'll be right back to talk more about fall in just a second. I'm Leonard Riggs. This is From My Head to Your Ears. And from my nose to your ears. Sorry. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast From My Head to Your Ears. And as I stated, I do a Halloween film festival for the whole month of October. I do a scary movie at night for the whole month. So, and towards the end, I might do double features and stuff. I have a huge collection of movies of all kinds. I love horror films with a passion. My goal, since I watch a lot of these with my mom, since I'm her caregiver, and I mention that every podcast, but it is my life. I try to get stuff that's not too rough for her, but I'm trying to set up my TV in my bedroom to where I maybe can do a few by myself and maybe put something on her. She's just a door away from my bedroom, so it's not like I'll be leaving her by herself, but I don't think it is good for her to watch really scary movies. Funny, scary movies like The Ghost of Mr. Chicken and that kind of stuff. She enjoys that. That even kind of scares her. But I kind of, through the year, collect. I try to rack my brain for obscure movies, and I even have a movie that a friend of mine got to work on this year coming up, a Stephen King movie that he was on the production staff of the movie. So that's kind of cool. We're going to do a podcast together. Craig, hello. Sometime in the future, not too far in the future. And just a little heads up there. A little preview, probably in my next season. But that whole process right now is when I'm gathering them and sorting them. I try to count out, make sure I've got enough to cover the month. No problem there. But I try not to. There's some I have to watch, and there's some that I like to put away for a year or so and watch something. But I have quite a few different ones this year. The old Hammer movies released a lot of their old titles to Blu-ray, and that was exciting. So I got a lot of those. And I really enjoy the older horror films as a general. I mean, even the ones in my mind that are newer are old, like even the Nightmare on Elm Street movies are getting up there in the years. And teenagers, those are old movies. But I like the Universal films and all of them. I'm probably going to do a whole podcast on that film festival, probably the last episode of my season, because I enjoy that so much, and it's become a tradition, and a lot of people actually comment on it and enjoy seeing what I watch every night. So that's something I look forward to every fall. It was born out of boredom, actually. I've said that in the past podcasts, and I was always able to make fun out of nothing, and that's basically, I got to where I was feeling like, because of work, I wasn't enjoying the holiday as much. At one point, I was getting called in all the time and not getting any days off, and I thought, holy cow, this is just a bummer. So I started watching horror films, and at that time I had to watch them in the daytime because I was working midnights, so I would watch them before I slept. And I don't know, it's my creative side is a lot stronger in the fall and winter months, because I guess of the seclusion of the being inside so much. The heat takes it out of me. I don't know. It's funny about me, but it's true. And I love the fact, too, that I can cook a little more in the fall. It seems like my appetite is just a lot stronger. I don't like to use the oven in the summer months because it's too hot. So, you can cook the chili and the soups and all that stuff and make a lot of bread and get fat and sassy. Sorry, that just popped in my head. But I was talking about, one Halloween we had snow. We had 4 inches of snow, and I want to say that was the Halloween of 1992. And I had gone out with my niece Melissa and my nephews, and they had to wear coats with their costumes. We went ahead and trick-or-treated. That was an odd weather situation back then. It's happened a couple of times since, I believe. Southern Illinois weather, like I said, if you don't like it, wait a minute, it'll change. You never know what's going to happen here. I've had some very sad things happen in fall that I don't let it tarnish my love of the season. My oldest sister passed away on Halloween, and she loved Halloween, so it doesn't really tarnish it for me because I would, as a respect to her, I still enjoy the holiday. I think the thing I love most about the fall is just the intimacy of it. And I love decorating the house I'm kind of Clark Griswoldish about decorating the house for the holidays. I don't do as much because it's a lot going on in my life, but I do like to keep it cheerful. And I like to decorate for the season. And I just do for Halloween and then for Christmas. But I'm not one of those put up the Christmas tree in July type people. I do kind of fall, then make it more Halloween, and then less Halloween, and then more fall, and then Christmas. So I try to keep it within the season. But it's just a lot of work just to keep up for a couple weeks. So I do like to leave it up for a while. And I also make a Halloween playlist on Apple Music or Spotify, Monster Mash and stuff like that. So I like to listen to scary music for the atmosphere. I just love the atmosphere of fall. And like I said, the intimacy of kind of being in the house behind 4 walls more often than not. And it's a good time to spend with your family. And of course, a lot of families right now have ball games, and kids have lots of events like dances and a lot of social events. So a lot of times it's a busy time of year, but I hope people take the time to make memories with their loved ones, because I think we all get a little too busy sometimes and don't really enjoy anything. So it's good to kind of lay back and watch a movie with your family or with your friends and make some memories. That's what I love about this time of year, because it's just a lot of good memories are made. Well, I'm going to take a break, and I'll be back, and I'll probably wrap this up. Sorry, I'm having a hard time talking because of this cold, but I'll be right back. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is From My Head to Your Ears. I'm Leonard Riggs, and this is my podcast, From My Head to Your Ears, and I'm wrapping up my discussion of fall with just a little advice, and I think I give this advice a lot. Stop and enjoy yourself. Enjoy your family, enjoy your pets, enjoy what you have, enjoy your televisions and the stuff you were able to buy. Enjoy what you have in front of you. Don't get so busy that you don't make memories. because by gosh, you get to the point sometimes when memories of what you got to live on. And so just keep moving forward in life and enjoy every season, not just fall. I've got to remember that myself sometimes, but fall is my favorite. I'm not going to deny that. There's so much I love about it, and I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. I was having a hard time coming up with a topic this week, but I just kind of let it flow, and hopefully this is not boring you to tears. I love doing my podcast. I say it every time. I thank God for the ability and the voice to do it, even though I have a cold. And I thank God for the people that enjoy listening to these podcasts, because I love doing this. I hope it shows in my podcast. And I say a lot. I'm trying not to do that, but I did it again. I just, every week I start thinking, what am I going to do next? So next week I'll have another subject, and thank you for listening. Like I said, I love you guys, and I promise there'll be more things to discuss. So sit back and pour your favorite warm beverage and enjoy the cooler weather and what God has given you. Thank you. I will talk to you next time. I'm Leonard Riggs. This is From My Head to Your Ears, and I made it through a whole segment without coughing. See, that's wonderful. See you next time, or hear you next time, or talk to you next time. You know what I mean.